Okay, let's do this. You've dropped a fascinating source.
I swear that you won't take my life. Swear that you won't take my life.
By four blue shirts, here's
Swear that you
Dembele,
won't take
in
my
with another
life.
chance in the
Swear that you won't take my
This source doesn't just
Swear that you won't take my
Frames that 24-25 season as not just good, but clear choice.
Okay, so let's break that down. Point one seems to be this idea of transformation. The source doesn't just say he was good, it paints it as a fundamental shift.
Som ges ut till Kvaratskhelia.
Swear that you won't take my life.
Bak, snett bakåt. Och där är 1-0! Där har vi 1-0. Det är Dembele. Ut till Kvaratskhelia.
Swear that you won't take my life.
Masterclass in transformation.
Swear that you won't take my life.
There's transformation.
Swear that you won't take my
Dembele.
life.
looking for Barcola.
Emphasizing
Now for Liverpool, Dembele arriving. Dembele with the goal at his mercy and PSG at level in the tie. And after all Liverpool's brightness, effervescence and energy.
It leads with some pretty eye-popping stats for that score. It highlights an astounding 32 goals.
Okay, 33 goals in 15 seasons. That's, especially for a player often starting out wide, that's a massive direct goal cut.
Right. The source uses that to argue he became like main defensive weapon, not just creative, but
Break that down into a little
it does. It makes a point of mentioning he topped the League One scoring chart.
Curl one.
21 goals.
Okay, so top scorer, that answers the padding stats question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shows he was doing it consistently.
Precisely. The source presents that as proof of his dominance.
Beyond the raw stats, though, individual awards often play a big role. Does this source bring those up?
Oh, yeah. This is where it ties his individual season to the team's trophy haul. The source explicitly states he was the driving force behind what it calls PSG's historic continental treble.
That's trouble. And the source details that.
Yep. It lists winning the UEFA Champions League and stresses this was the first time ever for PSG, according to the source.
Huge moments as well.
Massive. Plus, winning League One. Oh, and the Trophy des Champions.
Ousmane Dembele. PSG step up to the gears and Dembele does what he's been doing so frequently. That's 17 goals in a 10-game.
Wouldn't have happened without him stepping up.
Dembele with a flick. Hakimi had continued his run. Dembele.
Does it name names?
It uses examples like Liverpool.
In again!
The point being, his level
It's a brilliant hat trick!
If anything, the source argues it went up. He was crucial in this game.
And what about backing that up? Any quotes or endorsements mentioned in this?
Yes, a really significant one. It brings in his coach at the time, Luis Enrique.
What did Enrique say, according to the source?
The script quotes him flat out declaring Dembele as deserving Ballon d'Or unequivocally.
That's instructive.
And interestingly, the source includes why Enrique apparently said that, praising not just the obvious attacking player, but also his tireless work rate.
So the flip side is, what rate do you
Right. The source uses that. Someone whose influence went beyond
Dembele has other ideas. Oh, and it's
adds
close to
that
the
insight
line.
and perspective.
That
What a
definitely
chance!
adds weight.
What a goal! It really is
So
a
how does the
fantasy
script
Paris
wrap all this
Saint-Germain
up with
now.
the
Look what
final
that one means.
Well, it calls the 2024-2025 season Ousmane Dembele's masterclass. Simple as that. Yeah, like this was it. The definitive season where everything clicked. The peak performance that justifies the award.
And its final statement on his canvas.
It doesn't mince words. The script concludes that based on this season, the evidence presented, he's not just a candidate but a standard. It presents it as the only logical conclusion from the stats, the trophies, the impact it laid out, the unassailable choice for the 2025 Ballon d'Or.
Okay, so just to recap what we've unpacked from this specific source material, we've seen the case it makes for Ousmane Dembélé, this narrative of transformation, backed by really impressive stats, 33 goals, 15 assists, major individual performances, being pivotal to PSG's historic treble, including that first Champions League win.
Delivering key moments like those 2 assists in the final, and getting that explicit, glowing endorsement from his coach Luis Enrique, praising his all-around game.
And understanding how this specific source builds that argument, the evidence that selects the story it tells, will gives you a really clear picture of one powerful perspective.
Now a Premier League winner.
Exactly. It shows you the building blocks, the stats, the moments, the narrative used to construct such a strong case for one player. It's valuable context.
Then held 1-1 by
Which brings us
PSV in the
to
last match
a
before
final
this
thought
one.
for you, the listener, to consider. Based only on the argument and evidence we've discussed from this deep dive into the source material.
Yeah, given this specific case